In today's episode, we'll be answering the question, is it cheaper to have gas or electric appliances? Today's episode is on, is it cheaper to have gas or electric appliances? But what we're going to learn is that there is so much more to consider. The difference in rate or expense for gas or electric appliances may be the least of your worries. In today's episode, we're going to learn the cost, of course, but we're also going to learn why your particular investment strategy has a lot to do with the choice of gas or electric. You'll also need to know what to look for in the very specific house that you're thinking about investing in as it pertains to gas or electric. And then we're going to have a wake-up call for all you investors out there. So stay tuned. We're going to get to it right now. So the reason why I brought up this topic is because I keep getting this question all the time. And then I look it up and it's a very popular question. You know, everyone wants to know what's cheaper, gas or electric. Well, come to find out, it depends on a whole bunch of factors. What part of the country you're in, what size is your house, how many doors, how many windows. It depends. And it also depends on economic times. You know, sometimes gas costs one thing and sometimes gas costs another amount. So it was very hard to nail down. So I did my study and my research and come to find out, if you live in a region where the temperature averages over 30 degrees Fahrenheit most of the time or all the time, then electric is usually the cheapest. But whether it's the cheapest or not the cheapest may be the least of your worries. Stay with me. I think it's almost more important to think about your strategy first and then worry about these small things, gas or electric, later. If your strategy is to fix up the house and sell it to a new buyer, what do you really care? You're selling it down the road to someone else. And it may already have a gas or electric furnace and all these appliances, and it's not worth it to change it out. If you're starting from scratch or doing a complete remodel, you might want to think about what's the cheapest, but if you're going to sell it, pick one or the other, because, you know, the minute you pick an electric stove, the person that you're showing to the house is going to really be in love with a gas stove, and vice versa. So it's just kind of a guessing game. I would go with the cheapest, though, electric, if I had to choose and I had a choice. But let's say you're going to be a landlord. Now you're going to buy this house and it's going to be yours for a long period of time. You're still passing along the electric to the tenant, but the least expensive option might help your tenant stay in the house longer or be able to pay a higher rent because the expenses will be down. It's always nice to help curtail your expenses for your customers who owe you money. It leaves more money in their pocket to pay you, right? But there's a bigger thought process here. If I'm a landlord, I really don't want gas anything. The chances of someone dying from asphyxiation is my worst nightmare. I would hate this to happen to me. And it hasn't ever happened to me yet. And I've done a lot of houses, but I haven't been a landlord in a lot of houses. I always sell my house with seller financing. But still again, even if I sold a house to someone on payments and I didn't own the house anymore, it would be my biggest nightmare if someone died in that house from gas asphyxiation or some gas-related leak problem. You know, so for that reason, if I'm a landlord or if I'm seller financing, I really rather just have electric. I don't care if it's cheaper or not. I really just rather have electric. Which brings me to a point that a lot of people blow over and don't find out about or don't realize until it's too late. If you have someone working on your gas appliances or your electric, you better make dang sure they're licensed and that they're pulling permits. Because the last thing, the very last cherry on the top of a tremendous nightmare is that someone dies in your house from gas asphyxiation or electrical shock, and the guy that you sent to fix wasn't licensed and registered and didn't pull permits. You'll be fried or gassed right along with whoever else died. So, as a major side note, do not go around hiring Jake legs to fix your gas and your electric problems, and make dang sure they pull permits, because you could lose everything you've built over this problem. It's not worth it. So before I get to the real wake-up call, as if I haven't said enough to wake a bunch of people up already, I want to engage you, ask you to hit that like button, ask you to hit that share button, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Now, on to that wake-up call. Here's the big wake-up call, boys and girls. Once your business has grown to any level at all, and you can afford to buy liability insurance, make the business pay for it. Just figure it in as a necessary evil. Cover it. And certainly, as you get to be medium and big and bigger and bigger and bigger, you're a fool if you don't have liability insurance. You're waiting for something to happen. And the bigger you get, the more the odds are that something's going to happen. You need liability insurance. Call your insurance man. Call a bunch of insurance men and get them to compete. And just figure that in. If your business is big, it should be able to handle some liability insurance. If you don't do it, I think you're crazy. Today, I want to give you the first 31 pages of my book, My Life in 1,000 Houses, 200 plus ways to find bargain properties. And the reason why that first 31 pages is so important, because it's all about branding and how to set yourself up from the very beginning so that you never have to go backwards again in the department of branding. Now, it's a little vague right now what I'm talking to you about, but when you read these 31 pages, you're going to understand exactly what I'm telling you to do, why I'm telling you to do it, and why it makes so much sense. Because you're eventually going to figure out that you started branding all wrong, and everything you have, from your logos on the top of your cards, on the top of your letterhead, on your website, everything's going to be named wrong. It's all going to be wrong, and you're going to have to put it all in the trash can and burn it. And then all of it that's out there is going to be a waste of time. And it's been out there for 2 years, then you've wasted 2 years. If it's been out there for 3 years, then you've wasted 3 years. But sooner or later, you're going to figure out what's in the 31 pages of this book. So why don't you just read the 31 pages and skip the problem? It's all about branding and how to set yourself up once and for all to go forever forward and have everything pulling in the same direction. Check it out. Just go to 1000houses.com/free-stuff or click on the link here and scroll up and down the home page with all the free stuff and click on the first 31 pages of branding. All right, this is Mitch, and I'll see you in the next episode.